All right, welcome to another Code Talk Tuesday. And today we will keep working on our resume project. And specifically what we're going to do today, we're going to finish putting all of the content that we have. So we're going to finish the sidebar, this part right here, the sidebar. And we will also make our resume prettier. So hopefully we finish everything today, which would be great. But if not, I will just post another video showing you guys how to host our website, where to host it, and whatever we don't have time to finish today, I'll just put it in a video and you can watch it and finish your resume. All right, first thing that I would like to do with you guys is we will finish putting all of the content in. So open your VS Code, open whatever file, whatever folder you used for your resume, and just follow along with what I'm doing. All right, so to put the sidebar in, our sidebar needs to be under our wrapper box div. There's another div that we need to add. I will call it main content. Again, for now, just put it as div and put a comment that will say that this is our main content. And then copy this div right here, get rid of it, and put it all the way at the bottom after your education. So you will have your HTML tag, your body tag, your div tag, put it right above your last div. Then save it, it should format it. And yeah, let's start with the sidebar. So the sidebar will use a different type of container. It's not going to be a div. This container is called a side. So what a side does, it takes all of the content that you put inside of it and basically puts it aside from everything else, from all of the other content that we have. And since our sidebar is on the side, that's why we need to use this tag right here. And again, put a comment and just say that this is our sidebar. Now let's go back and let's take a look at our resume and see what we need to add. So inside of the sidebar, what we have is a picture. Again, just a reminder, you don't have to put a picture on here. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. We discussed the pictures and resume in our previous Code Talk Tuesday, but we have to put the contact information, then we will have to put the tech skills that we have and the soft skills that we have. So not too much stuff to finish. From what I'm seeing right now is this is going to be an unordered list as well as the soft skill part. It's going to be two unordered lists, and then we will have another div for the contacts. All right, well, let's go back to our sidebar. All right, so the first thing that we need to do is to put a picture. I'll put a picture. If you don't want to put a picture, just skip this part. But to put a picture, we need to use an image tag. It's just simple IMG, type IMG, press enter. And this is the links that you will get. Source means the source where this picture is coming from, and alt is alternative. So in case your picture doesn't load, you will provide some sort of information about this picture. So our source is going to be from the same folder. So it's very important for you to put the picture that you want to put in your resume in the same folder where your index.html file is. You can create a separate folder. I like to create separate folders for pictures just to keep them all separated from the code so it doesn't get too crowded within your projects. So to create a new folder by clicking this icon right here, new folder, you can call it images, you can call it IMG, and put whatever picture you want to use inside of that folder. After that, all that you have to do is specify the path to that picture. In our case, it's going to be the images folder. So just type images, and already is going to give you code suggestions. So images, then put a slash. And again, it gives me a suggestion of whatever's inside of this folder. It asks me, do you want to use this picture? So it's pretty neat. Just click on it. Or you can just type it unitech logo.jpg. So type whatever the name of your picture is. I would recommend if your file is too long, if, for example, your file was saved with some random name, just rename it to something that is easily typed. So, for example, headshot or picture of me, whatever you want to do. Your name, you can also use your name. Just make it easier for you to type it out, so it's not too lengthy. After that, in Alt, all that you have to provide is what's actually inside of that picture. So in my case, it's going to be the Unitech logo. So I will just say Unitech logo. So in case our picture doesn't load, this is what's going to be displayed. This text is going to be displayed instead of the picture. All right, the next thing that we need to do is to put the our sidebar content. So for that, we will create a separate container to hold all of our tech skills, our soft skills, and our contacts. So let's put a different div. And inside of that div, again, put a comment, say that this is sidebar content. Inside of that div, what we will do is put our contacts, our tech skills, and our soft skills. Let me go back and show you the right here. So this is going to be 3 different containers, one for the contacts, one for the tech skills, one for the soft skills. So there are 3 divs: contacts, skills, soft skills. All right, let's see this one. All right, so a div for the contacts div, then a div for our tech skills div, and our soft skills div. All right, save it so it looks pretty. And after that, we need to put our content inside of it. So just you can type, use the P element. P is just for paragraph. So whatever text you want to do, this is the element that you want to use. P, and put that this is my contact, or this is my contact information, whatever you want to call it, my contacts. And after that, what we want to do is to put our phone number and stuff like that. Again, use another P and put that this is my phone number, whatever is your phone number, 3, whatever it is. You can put your phone number. After that, we need to put our email. So email is going to be just whatever your email is, put it in here. Unitech.edu, ta.edu. All right, we've got that down. And the next thing is our tech skills. Inside of our tech skills, what we want to do is put the name tech skills. Oh, actually, go back and change my contacts to tag H3. Remember that H3, all of the H tags, they just make your text bigger. So we want my contacts to be bigger than our phone and email. Same thing with tech skills. Use the H3 tag and put tech skills. And then what we want to do is put a simple ordered, unordered list. To put an unordered list, we use UL, tag UL. Inside of that UL tag, we will put actually what we want to say our tech skills are. Again, we need to use the LI tag, which stands for list item. And inside you can put Python, then create another one, put Java, and another one, and put SQL, another one, PowerShell. Then you can put HTML, another one, you can put CSS. So whatever your tech skills are, just put them in here. Okay, we're done with our tech skills. And for soft skills, exactly the same thing. First, H3 tag, soft skills. Then we put our unordered list. And inside of our unordered list, you can put all of your soft skills. So for soft skills, just put, you can put stuff like teamwork. You can put, if you are familiar with any of the programs that you have used to communicate with anybody in your previous jobs, you can put them here. So for now, let's just put some basic stuff like teamwork, effective communication. So whatever you have worked on with career services regarding your resume, just put these soft skills here. You can put also, let's teamwork, communication, yeah, so like Microsoft Teams, if you have used that, Microsoft Teams. If you have used Zoom, you can put Zoom in here. Just any programs that you are familiar with in regards to soft skills or communication. All right, so we are done with putting all of our information. Again, save that and let's see what our resume looks like now. Again, this is not what we want it to look like, but all of our content is loaded. So we have the picture, we have all of the stuff that we want to have. Now we just need to format it. So to format your HTML, we will use CSS. CSS is what's usually used to format any of your divs, anything in regards to HTML. To make it prettier, you want to use CSS. All right, to use CSS, actually, let me show you what. So this is what it looks like. This is what it should look like. Your website should look like now. The sidebar is going to be on top for now. We're going to put it to the side. I will show you how to do that. And all of your main content should be at the bottom. All right, let's go back. Okay, to create a CSS file, all that you have to do is create a new file. Again, click on this icon right here, new file, and call it either style CSS, whatever you want it to call. Just make sure that you use CSS at the end. To link these two files together, style CSS and index.html, go into the head element of your HTML file and put the element link somewhere in there. Link, click enter, and you see that we have style sheet and href. Href just stands for the link that will be referencing your CSS file. And right here, you need to put the same name that you have used for your styles.css file. Again, let's save that. Let's see. All right, we saved that. And now click on the style CSS. And the first thing that I want you to do is we will go and look at this thing called box model. CSS box model. So CSS box model is a very important concept that you need to know as, inspiring web developer or whatever you want to do. If you want to create your websites, this is something that is very important and comes very in handy when you are working with websites. So CSS box model, this is for your design and for your layout. So every single container has these properties automatically. We don't see them because we haven't worked with CSS yet, but every single div, every single P element, they have these properties. So content is where your pictures, where your text is located. So this is the visible part, content. Then the padding is what separates your content from the border of your div. So the border of your div is invisible, actually, you don't see it. But with the help of CSS, we can actually make it visible, which is the cool thing about CSS. But padding is what separates your content from your border. Now, margin is also a very important property to know. Margin is what separates your current div that you are working with from every single other div. And we can specify the parameters. It doesn't matter in which side we go. So we can specify parameters overall for example, if you want your content to be separated by 40 pixels from the border, you can just put padding 40 pixels. But for example, if you want only the top part of your content to be separated, what do you do in that case? Well, it's very simple. CSS has properties for every single direction of whatever direction you want to go. So if you want to change the top, only the top part, you will use padding top. If you want to change the bottom, you will use padding bottom. If you want to use left or right side, again, padding left or padding right. Very simple. If you don't really understand what's happening right here, right now, it's okay. You will get it the more you do it, because you will be working with padding and border and margin all the time. So it takes practice. So the more you practice, the easier it will get, and more efficiently you will learn how to do it more efficiently when it comes to your divs. All right, let's go back to our styles.css file. And the first thing that we need to do is to use our body container. The body container is where all of your HTML resides. So all of your content is going to be inside of your body container. To change body container, just type body and open your curly braces. Inside of your curly braces, let's specify the background. Let's specify that our background will always be white. So no matter what browser you use, no matter what happens, our background will always stay white. All right, color white. And let's specify some padding. Let's make sure that no matter how big your screen is, how small your screen is, that the content will be visible. Let's say we want our padding to be 40 pixels. Again, save that. You're not going to notice any visible changes to your file as of right now, because again, this is just to prevent any unwanted changes from happening when people use it in different browsers. All right, the next thing that we want to do is to create some classes. Classes is a very useful option to specify format for specific divs. So if you want to format just one div, you can give it a class and then specify formatting of that specific class. So let's call some of our divs. To do that, just type class, press enter. And in this case, this is our wrapper box. So let's call this class wrapper. Same thing with the main content. Type class and call it main content. Very simple. With the sidebar, same thing, class, sidebar. With the sidebar content, let's do the same thing. Sidebar content, contacts. So basically for almost all of the divs, you will want to use classes. Class, contacts. Then for the text skills, class, text skills. Again, it's a bit of a routine thing. It's a bit of maybe some people would find it boring, but again, the more you work with this, it's going to become automatic. So every time you will be creating something based on HTML, CSS, you will automatically create classes when you are working with divs. It's just going to become a habit. Class, soft skills. Then let's say, where's another one? Information, class info, then class projects. So look at all of the comments that we made earlier, and wherever you see a comment, that's where we want to put a class. Work experience, work. Then for the companies, all of our companies need to look uniform. So this is where we will use the same class for each one of the companies. Class, company. You don't have to use company 1, company 2, company 3. We can just group them all together and use the same class for all of our elements that need to look uniform. Class company. Let's put it here too, class company. Same thing here, class company. and class education. All right. So this should be everything that we need to do regarding classes. All right, and let's actually start working on formatting our file. So the first thing is the main content. Let's do our main content. Actually, no, let's start with the wrapper. Make sure that all of your classes start with a lowercase letter. So if you see an uppercase, sometimes the auto formatting will make it uppercase. Just make sure that everything is lowercase. So save this file. Let's start with the wrapper. To specify that you are formatting a class, it is not the same as formatting an element. When we are formatting an element, you see that we are just using the name of an element. But when we are formatting a class, the CSS uses dot notation. So what that means is you're going to put a dot, and then you will specify the name of that class. By putting a dot, you are sending a message to your CSS saying that, hey, this is a class. This is not actually an element. This is a class. So look for the name wrapper inside of all of the classes. Don't look at it don't look at the elements. Look at the specific classes. So we put the wrapper, and again, let's do the same thing. Let's make sure that our background is always stays with the white color. Then for this one, for this property, I wouldn't worry too much as of right now. But what this means is that our content that is inside of this wrapper is going to be displayed in a form of flex. What flex means is instead of going all the way, one after the other, we can actually specify how we want these elements to be displayed. So by default, they go one after the other. But for example, with our resume, we want, sorry, there's a chat. Oh, okay, Miss Marsha saying hello to Brennan. With our display flex, we can modify how we want these divs to be displayed. In our case, we want our sidebar to be on the side of our main content. But as of right now, our sidebar is at the top and our main content is at the bottom. We don't want that. We want them to be side by side. To do that, we need to specify the flex direction. All right, flex direction. There's a specific property for that. Flex direction. And as you can see, it gives me column, column reverse, row, row reverse. For this one, we want to use row reverse. All right, let's save that and let's look at what is happening with our resume so far. Let's see. So the only difference that I see right now, if you update your resume, is that we got a little bit of a margin right here. So everything is now a little bit further from the side of our browser. And if we move this, you will see that this margin does not change. This margin stays the same, which is exactly what we want to do. All right, row reverse. And we also want to specify the width of our the whole container. For now, let's put 1200 pixels. And again, don't worry too much about how we figure these numbers out. It will just come to you with practice. And if you are interested in this, you can research it more. But for now, for the sake of time, you can just follow me on some of these things. And let's put a margin of 0. And let's put auto. What that means is every single margin is going to be 0. So all of our divs are going to be close to each other. There's going to be no gaps, no unnecessary gaps. All right, let's continue. Oh, sorry, I am not sharing my screen. I'm not sharing the right one right here. All right, wrapper right here. So I added the width and I added the margin. All right, we're gonna continue with, I'm still not sharing the right thing. Okay, sorry about that. All right, I added the width and I added the margin. Here we go. All right, this Zoom is having the background, like when it shows you what you're screen sharing is this small green green border. So it's really hard sometimes to see if you have multiple windows all open. So I apologize for that. All right, the next thing that we want to look at is our main content. So for our main content, again, we use the same notation, main content. And inside of that content, what we're going to do, we're going to specify all of our padding. So again, this padding is going to be different. Don't, you can just follow me along. Padding, this is going to be padding top, actually padding left. This one's going to be padding top, 80 pixels. Then padding right is going to be 40 pixels. And padding bottom is going to be 80 pixels. The next thing that I'm going to show you is box sizing. Box sizing is a property that will make sure that your box does not move, so your box stays the same, and we want to put it as border box. Again, these are just some of these properties. You don't really need to know how they work as of right now. If you're interested in what they are, what they do, you can just always Google, go back, rewatch this video, Google what they mean. But all that you need to know about box sizing is we don't want this box to become larger or smaller every time we move our screen. So this is why we need to put border box. All right, this is the last thing that we need to do for main content. And let's do our sidebar next. Sidebar, again, same idea. You put a dot and you put the sidebar. And inside of the sidebar, let's specify the background color. The background color that we use for this sidebar is this. You can just copy. One sec. Let me copy this. It's hashtag. This is the hex notation for the color. So E0 EBFE. All right. Not hex, Emmet abbreviation. All right, so if we save this and we go back and look at our resume, our sidebar part should have a different background. All right, so it's a different background, and you see that everything moved towards the center. That's exactly what we want to have.
I have a quick question.
Yep.
For, I guess, when you're first starting to write your program or the website itself, does it matter about how pretty it looks in the beginning? And that's why we use CSS to just get it all organized and make it look more formatted?
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter what it looks like at the very beginning. Again, you are just starting your journey, so the prettiness of it should not be your first thing that you think about. Just make sure that everything is located properly, that your boxes don't move when they're not supposed to, that your content is exactly where it needs to be. So yeah, don't try to make it as pretty as you can. You will learn how to do that in the future. Just make sure that everything is exactly where it's supposed to be. But yeah, basically with HTML is not sufficient enough to make the website look pleasing to your eyes. So this is why we use CSS, just to make sure that everything is pretty, everything, is, I will show you, we will actually use a different font for this. I will show you how to get the fonts in a little bit after we're done with the formatting of this. But yeah, CSS is just to make everything pretty and to locate it exactly where it needs to be. Does that answer the question?
Perfectly, thank you.
All right. Here we go. Yeah, so this is what it should look like as of right now. And let's go back here. All right, so for our sidebar, what we need to do is, again, we put some padding. We'll put some padding top. Say 40 pixels. Then we just need to make some padding bottom. At the bottom, padding bottom is going to be 80 pixels. These numbers come exactly from right here. So you see it's the opposite. So padding top is 40 now. Here's 80, but padding top is 40 because we have that picture. So it's twice less. and padding bottom is the same because we want the bottom of our main content and the bottom of our sidebar to line up perfectly. That's why padding bottom is the same on both of these. Then the next thing that we need to put is, again, the same thing with the box sizing. Let's put a border box. And the widths, to specify the widths of your sidebar. For now, just put 370 pixels and I will show you exactly what it does. Update it, and this is our sidebar as of right now. So it is, see, it got smaller. This is exactly from here to here. This is 370 pixels. Okay. All right, so now we want to put our sidebar to the side. Let me see if I can make some changes really quick and see if it works. All right, it's not this one. First, let's see, let's find out what I'm missing here to get our sidebar to look exactly how it's supposed to be. All right, sidebar. Okay. I put the sidebar inside of our main content, so copy the sidebar. That's the issue that I have. All right, copy the sidebar fully, and then so everything from one aside tag to the next aside tag. You can use Command X or Control X to cut it out and then put it under the wrapper instead. So not inside of the main content, put it under the wrapper. All right, let's go back. This should fix all of our issues. All right, here we go. So now our sidebar is on the right side and our main content is on the left. To change that, let's go back. To change that, all that we need to do is, instead of row reverse, just put reverse. And it should fix itself. All right, here we go. So our sidebar is on one side and our information is on the other side. Okay. There's a couple of things that you can also do to just make it look more uniform, but let's go and look at how we can get our fonts, how to make it look pretty. So as you can see, this is a different font right here. This is not the same. So to get the fonts, there is this cool thing called Google Fonts. Just Google in your browser, Google Fonts, click on the first link, and the font that is being used specifically in this example is Montserrat. Montserrat. You can use whatever font you like. You can just for example, I'm using this one, but if you like something else, you can use a different font. We will be using this one right here. Click on the font, and then you should see get font. Click on get font, and we want to get the embedded code. Click on get embedded code, and this is what will be displayed in front of you. So we want to copy everything that's here, either copy it manually or click copy code right here. And we want to paste that code inside of our HTML. So locate the head of your document and put the link somewhere in here. Again, save so it looks pretty. And all that you need to do is you need to let your CSS know that you will be using those fonts. To do that, we will use the property font family, and we will use whatever the name of our font is. In this case is Montserrat. Just make sure that you spell it correctly. That's usually my issue when it comes to coding, the spelling part. Montserrat, then put a comma and specify that you will be using sans serif. That just means that you will be using the original font with no Some of these fonts can be italicized, so they can be, going sideways, but we don't want that, so we will be using sans serif. All right, save that. And let's go back and look at what our resume looks like now. Updated, and as you can see, our font changed everywhere. So not only only specific parts got changed, everything got changed to whatever our font is. Again, if you want to use a different font, just follow the same steps, and you will just copy a different link and you will type a different name into the font family section. All right, let's keep working on our divs. Let's go back and see what divs we have. So the sidebar content and the main content. Now we will be actually modifying a lot of the individual elements. So we did the main content already, we did the sidebar. So let's start with the sidebar content. Let's modify our sidebar so it looks pretty. Let's look at what type of classes we have. So the first one I see is the sidebar content. So let's modify the sidebar content. Inside of the sidebar content, all that we need to do is just do some padding. We want our content to be to have a little bit of space in between the actual border of our sidebar and the actual text. So we will use padding left, 40 pixels. We will use padding top, also 40 pixels. 40 pixels, padding right, 40 pixels. And that will be the last thing that we do, because we don't want to have a lot of padding in between of our contents vertically. So this will just separate the main content from the sides and from the top. All right, padding right. And again, the last thing is box sizing, border box, just so your box doesn't move. All right, let's go back. Let's take a look at what happens. So you see our border just got a little bit bigger. And so that's why we have a little bit more space right here, and at the top. So it just makes it look a little bit prettier. Okay, we got the sidebar content. The next thing that we have is the contacts information. All right, so for the contacts, let's do contacts. And what we're going to do for the context is we will use a couple of other properties. The first one is going to be font weight. Font weight is just how bold we want our text to be. It goes from 100 to 1000, 1000 being the most bold. So 700 is, a little bit more than the middle. So it's on the bolder side, 700. Then we want to specify the font size. Font size is going to be 22 pixels. Again, this is just trial and error. When it comes to sizing, trial and error, you see what size looks better. For this project, 22 pixels looks the best in my opinion. But again, if you don't like how it looks, there's a great opportunity for you to change it. You just need to change this number. I'm just showing you all of the properties that we need, and then you can fully customize this resume and tailor it to what you like and how you want it to look like. All right. Then we want to specify the color. Actually, color, it's by default, it's black, so you can leave it out. And we just want to specify the margin. Remember, the margin is what separates our div from everything else, from all of the other divs. So margin top, we want it to be 0 pixels, and margin bottom, we want it to be a bit more, because margin bottom is going to be at the bottom and it's going to separate it from our other content. All right, again, updated. And you see that our font became a little bit bigger, a little bit bolder, and there is a little bit of spacing in between the my content, contacts, and the right here, the text skills. All right, let's go back to right here. All right. Another thing that we need to do is to specify that we want to make our phone and email a little bit different. We don't want it to be all the same font size, the same weight. We want the My Contacts to be bigger and the phone and email to be a little bit smaller. So for that, what we need to do is we need to specify that P is going to have a class of contacts item. Then again, copy that because we want these to be uniform and use the same thing, contacts item. And then go back to your CSS file, and inside of the contacts item, what we need to specify is that the margin is going to be, margin at the top is going to be 0 pixels, and margin at the bottom is going to be 8 pixels. 8 pixels. And that the font size is going to be smaller than 22. You can put 16.
Contracts you were awarded.
You can put 16, you can put something that's less than 22. All right, let's save that and let's go and look back at what we have right here. So as you can see, phone and email, they became a bit smaller. And I would recommend just try to find a font that will make everything be on the same line. So the email and the phone to be on the same line. But actually to do that, we need to get rid of some letters so it all fits. To do that, get rid of phone and just put P, and get rid of email and just put E. Again, let's go back and take a look at what it looks like. All right, the email is still too big. If your email is still too big, then let me see. I wonder why that is. Contacts item. Let me see. All right. If your email is too big, then you will have to adjust your sidebar. And to do that, again, very simple. Just go back to your sidebar right here and just increase the width by a little bit. So for example, 400 pixels. Just keep increasing it until your email fits properly. It just makes it a little bit bigger. All right, web design, let's go back. All right, so far we have we want to center our picture because our picture is currently not in the middle. To do that, we can actually use the image tag. And let me see, let me find that really quick. Sidebar, contacts. Where is our image? Yeah, this odd. It's not. Oh, it is not centered because we specified the width of our image as 370. I'm pretty sure. Oh, we haven't specified the width. Okay, that's the problem. So inside of the image tag, inside of your each HTML, just specify the width and make sure that it is the same as this number right here. So whatever you put inside of your sidebar, make sure that it is the same. So in this case, it's 400. And go back to your resume. And right now, well, the picture is too big, but you can, again, you can specify that however you want. You can make it smaller by altering the number right here. You make it 370, it's going to become smaller. Yeah, so however big you want this picture to be, you will have to specify that inside of your HTML tag. Okay, let's see. We're at 45 minutes. All right, last thing I want you to do, get rid of this. Somewhere here, we have my information. Let me find that really quick. This is our sidebar. This is our project. Oh, right here. So under your class info, under your My Information div, just get rid of this. Just get rid of My Information because we don't want that to be there. And so far, your resume should be looking pretty clean. All right. So this is what you should be looking at. Obviously, the companies are going to be different. The description is going to be a bit different and stuff like that. Education. Hopefully you filled that out in your free time from our last session. But so far it's looking pretty good. The only thing that we want to add is a link to our email, the link to our phone, and let's see. We can also make some of these things look prettier if we want to, but so far, it's looking as a really good resume. So let me show you how to put the links inside of the email and phone, and I will put everything else in a separate video so you can finish if you want this resume looking exactly like the example. I will show you how to do that in a separate video. I will upload it to my YouTube. But for now, the email. All right, let's find really quick contact information. All right, to do that, we will have to link certain things to our phone and to our link. So to do that, what you need to do is we have the P right here. It's our paragraph tags. And inside of these paragraph tags, we will have to create a link. So a link, to create a link, just put A. A stands for link. And again, right here, to put a phone number, you have to specify that this is a telephone number. So TEL stands for telephone. Put a colon and then put your number, whatever number you want to put in there, put the number, get rid of this one. Actually, no, keep this one right here, but move it to inside of this A tag. All right, save that. And we're going to do the same thing for this one. A, again, we're using a link. And instead of using the tel, we want to use mail to, MALTO, and specify whatever email you want to mail. Let me use my actual email to show you what it looks like when you click on it. Get rid of this and move this E to in front of your link, and then put your actual email in here, gmail.com. All right, so let's go back and it should all be looking a little bit different. So as you can see, these changed from being just black, they changed to links. If we click on one of them, your default mail app should open if you have that set up on your computer. It should immediately open and you should be able to send an email to that address. All right, that's pretty much it for today. Again, look out for that video. In that video, I'm gonna show you how to finish, how to make these types of things to look different, how to make it blue, how to make this look a little bit gray. Again, this is just cosmetic stuff. So far, your resume is ready to go. The only thing that we want to put the background, we want to put a different background. That's the only thing. Actually, let's do that right now really quick. Let's change the background. Our background should be changed inside of our body, and our body, just change it to hashtag F6F6FA. That should be the right color. Let me go back and check it. Check it out. Yeah, so here we go. It's looking exactly the same as this one. So the background should be different. So your website is fully ready. Your resume is fully ready. Be on the lookout for those little cosmetic changes video and another video to show you how to deploy it. So it's not only available on your virtual machine, but you will have your own link with your own website so that anybody can click on it and anybody can look at it from any part of the world. But that's pretty much it. I will let you know. I'll send you an email when those videos are posted, or you can just check my YouTube channel. I'm sure you know where that is. Just check the YouTube channel frequently, and that video should be posted by the end of the week. If you have any questions, you can stay on and ask me those questions. If you don't have any questions, you are free to go. And yeah, I'll see
All right.
you next week.